Hello, hello, all of our wonderful change makers. We're back with another amazing week of interviews. And, I love all the different healers that we are finding in this group. To me, that just makes my heart sing. And I encourage all of you to get to know the people that we're interviewing, at least go through and read about them and listen into some of the interviews because collaboration is going to become something we talk more and more about in this group. So today I'm thrilled to introduce you to Derek Raymond. And Derek has had some interesting things happen in his life that caused him to kind of move into this healing space on a full-time basis. So Derek, please tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do and what in the world makes you so amazing.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you, Cheyenne, for having me here today. It's an honor to be with you, and
Well,
I love the space that you share is really amazing. So thank you for all that you do. Um, so my name is Derek Raymond. I have a Facebook group called Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, and you're welcome to join. I'll give everybody the link later. But my story is in 2019, I was in a really bad place. You would think I should be happy because I was actually working my dream job as an animator, working in film and television, lots of cool stuff. But I was just in a bad place. I was really overweight. I was always getting sick. And I told Cheyenne even before that, I was never the type to get sick. I might get a cold like every 2 years or something. I just was
mm,
always pretty healthy. But in 2019, for some reason, like every month, there was something different and I just was miserable.
mm,
So I decided to take this epic trip and I went to East Africa for
wow.
5 weeks and I went trekking with the gorillas in Uganda. I did safaris in Uganda and Kenya and Tanzania. I went to Serengeti National Park. Um, I got really close to the animals. I actually camped in some of the parks. So it was so much fun. And I hiked Mount Kilimanjaro. I made it all the way to the top. And then I ended the whole trip in Zanzibar. So I had a couple days to relax on the beach.
Mm,
And it was epic. It was so much fun. But when I got back, I hated my pictures. I
mm,
hated the way I looked. I was overweight and I had just had really bad energy. Like you would think somebody doing this amazing trip would be excited and happy, but I did not look that in my pictures.
mm,
So I was embarrassed to show people the pictures with me in them.
mm.
So that is what, started this decision that I made that I needed to change. And it was time to get healthy. So I found a fitness coach, and the fitness coach got me doing some, he helped me change my diet and got me on a exercise program, which I had always exercised. I loved the gym, but I wasn't really consistent at it. And I guess I didn't know really what I was doing there. So um, he got me on that, and you know, it was great. And I still love my coach. I still work with him, but it wasn't really helping. And maybe because I was always kind of a healthy eater and kind of exercising, but I realized that just changing your diet and changing your exercise isn't going to help everyone. So in the whole process, I found an energy healer, and I was never really that into like energy healing or anything like that, but I felt really drawn to his name is Brent Michael Phillips, and I was really drawn to him, and he just helped taught me how to reprogram my subconscious mind, and I can now see energy and different things like that. But that took me to a whole nother level. The weight just started melting off, and I just was happier in general, and just everything in my life was working out for me. So I got certified in the energy healing and subconscious reprogramming, and I've created a program now where I combine the energy healing, subconscious reprogramming with diet and exercise so I can help others do what I did. And I like to say I help people change their bodies, transform their bodies from the inside out. But lately, it's been kind of turning into not just from the inside out, but both on the inside and the outside.
Okay. So you're telling me weight loss is not just all about counting calories, is that it?
Now, and I'm glad you said that because I've never counted calories on this whole journey. I didn't mention that I lost almost 50 pounds and
Wow.
I've kept it
How
off.
long?
Yeah, it took like 6 months, maybe a
Okay,
little 7 months, but I lost 50 pounds. I've been putting on muscle, so I'm a little heavier, but mostly muscle.
cool.
And I've kept that for the last 5 years. So,
Amazing,
and
amazing.
I don't count calories. Don't keep track of my macros or how much protein I'm eating. You know, I primarily eat what I want. I mean, I choose healthier foods,
Mhm.
but I primarily eat what I want when I want.
That's very cool, very cool. So, yeah, I wonder how many people out there really have never imagined that weight loss could be tied to something in the subconscious. I think that's still a very new idea for a lot of people, especially in the day where everybody's wanting these stupid loss shots that they're sticking in their leg and stuff. I like, oh my goodness. Sounds like your way is healthier, if I had to guess.
I mean, I would think so. It's more natural and it's more sustainable because, sure, you could take Ozempic or some of these new diet pills that are coming out, but what happens when you go off those pills,
Mm, yeah,
right? And
yeah.
how long do you want to take them? Do you want to take them for the rest of your life? Well, if you have the money for that and you don't mind taking pills, then I guess that's a way to go. But, if you want to do it naturally and have it sustainable for the rest of your life, I would think that my way is probably one of the easier ways to do it.
Well, there has been reports of side effects of some of those injections and such, so I'm gonna bet that what you're doing, the only side effects are probably positive ones.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be happier and make more money and have improve your relationships and, just inspire other people, then yeah, then maybe, my process might not be for you.
Darn, who would want all
Yeah,
that? I just
yeah.
don't get it.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Well, and part of your story, which is kind of interesting, especially in this day and age, we've got I used to be a recruiter at one point in time. And so I kind of keep track of what's going on in the career transition world. And I recently saw a LinkedIn post that was saying that it was taking like 40 to 50% of the people, it was taking them a year to find a new job after they'd been laid off. And we know there's been some layoffs from the government sector for sure. And a lot of those people have not been out in a job search for a long time. So, would you share a little bit about how, you thought the whole healing thing was a side gig, but what happened?
Yeah, so like I mentioned in my story, I'm an animator by trade. I've worked in TV and visual effects, animation, film, and all. I've even done some video games, but I've been doing that for over 20 years. And
Wow.
2 years ago, when the writer's strike happened, it
Mm,
changed everything. They stopped writing, so we weren't producing any TV shows or movies. And the
mm,
studio that I had worked for the past 12, 13 years, they
mhm.
had to shut down.
Wow.
They shut down, and I was out of work. A lot of people were out. There were 200 people at the company I worked for, so 200 people out of work, and it wasn't just the studio that I worked for that closed. Like a lot of post production studios had to shut down because there wasn't a lot of work being done in the United States.
Mm,
And it's still a problem today, like 2 years later.
mhm,
Things are slowly coming back. We see that movies and TV shows are definitely being made and coming out, but a lot of them are being done overseas.
mm,
And it's harder and harder to get those jobs overseas. Because what happened was first of all, during the lockdown, during the pandemic, they hired a lot of digital artists because they needed to keep content for these streaming companies, right? So they
Yep.
hired all these people that could work from home. And now there's a flood of all these people that are out of work because they're not making as much. And what they were making, you know, is overseas now. And you still have to, even if I work, from home, I still have to be, I still have to have a work permit for whatever country I'm working in. So
Wow.
I can't just go to Canada and work in
Wow.
Canada without a special work permit. So anyway,
Wow.
so I had to make the choice to make my side gig my full-time gig, and I teach animation part
Okay.
time. I teach a class once a week, so that kind of keeps me in the creative animation field, and I get to be a part of that and help support new artists that are coming in. And
Wow.
I get to help others and support others and help others heal and transform their bodies,
Mhm.
the rest of the time.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that sounds like a good combination of things to be doing. We have so many healers in this group, and everybody's got slightly different ways that they do things, and so on. And I'm just curious. I mean, is there any story of anyone? Obviously not using their names, but any story that you can share that would help people to understand a little bit better, both about your process and the results that you can help people get, other than you losing your own 50 pounds. That was pretty good too.
Yeah, well, it's not just weight. I
Mhm.
mean, I had a client and she had some traumatic experience. I won't say exactly what when she was a child that she had never told anybody about. And she
Mhm.
told me after working with me for a few weeks, she told me she actually told her church group about
Mm.
this incident and that she had never, like her husband, I didn't even know about it actually. Um, we, but she had the courage to share it with her church group, which she had never shared with anybody, even her husband, before.
Wow.
So she had
Wow.
that, and that freed her to transform a lot.
Mm.
I've had other clients. Uh, One that I'm working with now, he can't even remember the last time he's been under 200 pounds, and
Mm.
he weighs, I think 189 or something was the last time we
Awes
checked. So
awesome.
he's under 200 pounds and really happy. And yeah, that same client even said to me, he's like, you told me there's going to be other side effects like making more money. And the other day, I just got this random check in the mail that I didn't even know was coming. So like people are just growing, and progressing in different ways. And it's just so much fun to be a part of it.
I love it. I love it. I totally get it. It's a joyful thing when somebody comes back to you and they're just so excited because they've had some kind of major breakthrough. So that's another interesting question that comes to mind is how much from your experience, how much do you think past trauma plays a role in people's not only general health, because we know trauma can create stress, but how much is trauma playing a role in people's weight challenges as well?
A lot. It's a big part. So
Mhm.
I think if there's a one common thing that holds most people back, it has to do with self-love and self-worth.
Yes.
So, and that all stems from past traumatic experiences, the way we've grown up, lessons we've learned from our parents or other family members. Not that it's their fault. Everyone did the best they could for the most part, but we have things that we need to let go of. I mean, trauma is an experience that our body didn't know what to do with at that time.
Mm.
So it holds on to it and we kind of forget about it and we still need to release that. So I think releasing trauma is a really important thing to do. And it goes back to like I said, self love and self worth. When you're really overweight or not healthy, how do you love yourself if you don't like what you see in the mirror?
Mm,
So
that
that's
is
a big thing that we work on.
wow. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people talking about that one key issue lately. And I think it's sad because, one of my areas of interest is in suicide prevention. My
Mm.
husband and I did a big event in North Carolina last year. And it just blew our minds when we heard right on the news they were saying that suicide was the second leading cause of death of 10 to 18-year-olds. That to me is extremely sad. We must have some extremely traumatized young people. And, that's one of the things that I keep trying to get out here and try to get this message out to parents as well because the pandemic did traumatize a lot of young people. There's no doubt about that. There was just so many things that were just so fearful and, separated from everybody, and a lot of loneliness that went on during times that should have been for socialization for young people. So definitely those kinds of things. And I'm curious, have you had an opportunity, because I know they're saying that our youth is extremely obese at this point in time. Have you had the opportunity to work with any younger people yet?
No, I don't typically work with younger people. Most people that come to me are people that probably over 40 that have
Okay.
tried everything, but nothing seems to be working for them.
Right.
So that's when they seem
Mm,
to make the shift. Um, I'm not sure. Maybe it's my energy. Maybe it's the young people aren't really ready for what I have to offer. But I haven't had the opportunity to work with, yeah,
okay.
many younger people.
It would be a wonderful thing if you weren't the last resort, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it would be great.
Maybe one day we'll see some of that shift happening because, I know there's parents out here who are concerned. In fact, there's huge amounts of suicide happening on college campuses all
Mm,
over this country, and it gets hidden for the most part. Most people
sure.
don't even know that's happening, but there's just so much opportunity out here to help with healing that whole emotional piece, which, definitely connects to weight, definitely connects to a lot of different diseases. I
Yeah.
mean, doctors will tell you that stress is the number one cause of illness, but they never do very good at telling you how to deal with that stress.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because the one of the biggest problems with the health industry today is we think of like longevity and health as how do we live with this problem that we have?
Right.
So if you go to the doctor, if you have heart disease, they give you medicine, right? And they
Mm,
help you live with the heart disease.
yes.
So, and then they don't try to instead of thinking about how did this heart disease, where did this stem from, and let's clear that up, and then maybe help prevent this from happening to other people.
Right.
They just were developing medicine and ways to help people live with the diseases and health issues that they already have. So
Yep.
I think we need to do more preventative work.
Well, preventive and also getting more into root cause analysis
Yes.
because you're right. I mean, everything that's happening out here is based on the idea that we need to manage the disease. And it's like, well, if I cut my finger, assuming I don't cut it off or something of that nature, the darn thing will heal on its own.
Absolutely. Of
So that to me says our bodies can do a lot of its own healing if we
course.
give it the resources to do it. So yeah, we're still holding the vision for a shift out
Yeah.
there for
Yeah, I
people to
mean,
understand.
if we break a bone, everybody understands that that bone is going to probably heal in 6 to 8 weeks, right?
Mhm.
But if you have back pain, for some reason, that'll never go away.
Yeah. It's sad, it's
Yeah.
sad, and there's so many tools out here now that, can help people with some of those things. Now, I don't think I asked you this, but you talked about that there is a type of energy healing that you're doing. Does it have a name?
Yeah, so what I do is it's called awakening dynamics. It's an
Okay.
offshoot of theta healing. So some people are
Mm,
familiar with that, but I'm also
okay.
learning a modality called compassion key. I'm in the process
Ooh,
of learning that now. So
okay.
we use it to help people with that.
Wow. Wow. All right. Yeah, and that's the other thing that's really cool. There's so many more modalities out here and they're being developed every day. I mean, I interviewed a guy a week or two ago and he told me that he actually got instructions for the modality he's using. He got them in a dream and they're actually working on people. I'm
So
like,
I think I watched
"Okay."
that. I watched that video. I think.
Yep, it's like, "Okay, well, this is interesting. We're getting help from somewhere."
Yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, Derek, please tell people how in the world they can find you.
Yeah. So right now, the best way is in my Facebook group, which is Nourish, Heal, and Thrive.
Mhm.
And that's the best way to get a hold of me. I'll put some comments in this post
Yep,
on other ways that you can reach me, but join my group and see what we're doing there. And
awesome.
we'd love to have you. And if you need any inspiration to get healthy and happy, and join us there. We'll see you.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Any big plans for the future? Anything in terms of the work that you're doing? You see it unfolding in a larger way?
Well, right now I'm focusing on serving my community,
Mhm.
and but in the future, yes, the goal is to love and support each other, help find preventative care, and you know go get back to the root causes so we can all be happy and healthy and live better, longer lives.
I love that. I truly believe that's what we are supposed to be able to do. It's just there's been an awful lot of obstacles in the way, hasn't
Yeah.
there? Good deal. Well, I thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us here today. And just curious, any final thoughts, words of wisdom you care to share with people today?
Yeah, just love yourself. Like I said before, it all
Mm.
stems from loving yourself, and things will break free for you. You will get over those hurdles and obstacles. And if you need help, just let me know. I'm here to support you.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much, Derek. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And we thank all our change makers for watching, listening, and check out Derek. See if he's somebody that you might be able to team up with in some way and be able to create even bigger, better healing solutions because we know right now the world has plenty of space where we could be applying lots of different solutions. And that's what we're all about here at Unity for Peace and Wellness. So thank you, and we'll see you all in the next interview. Until then, have an amazing day.
Bye. Thank you.